I want to wish you a warm welcome to this program today, which is about your Dharma, your true calling, your sacred calling. You could call it a vocation or the purpose that you're here for, that which yearns deep within inside to be lived fully. So I'm going to give you some pointers on some examples. It's a topic that I'm very excited about. And if you want to really look to Dharma, which is what we're doing here, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna that really accentuates this teaching, as well as that from the Gospel of Thomas, which says that if you do not bring forth that which is within you, it will destroy you. But if you do bring forth what is within you, it will save you. So we're going to try to fill that out. And first, I want to just say that often we overstep our calling, our Dharma, feel that it has to be something extraordinary, something that is really big and flashing. But, when I listen to people, and I do all of the time, when people come to retreat or come for other sessions, or I just read about it, that the deepest longing in people is to live an awake life, to know who they are, and to come home to who they are. So the very first part of Dharma is seeing that it isn't outside of you, that Dharma is essentially aligning with your truest essence, with your soul, with that which echoes in your heart, in the depths of your being, and knowing that you can listen to that and follow it. Now, during this time, I think we're in 7 weeks of sheltering home. It's a wonderful time to kind of reevaluate, reclaim, rename that which is calling us, because many things are falling away on the outside, and there's an opportunity to listen more to what is your heart's longing, what is the call of the soul. And one of the first obstacles that gets in the way, it's not fear, actually. Many people would think that. But it's doubt. It's the kind of having your feet in 2 places at the same time and feeling immobilized to be able to make a choice. And doubt carries many things with it. It's the sense of feeling stuck. And one part of that is not being able to close the door on something that we may have been active with in our life for many years. A particular job that maybe we went into at one time because we grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money. So it was important to maybe demonstrate the capacity to have money, to be well taken care of, and to go into an occupation with prestige and financial gain. But at the same time, realizing after years of being active in that kind of vocation, even as a doctor perhaps, or some other kind of prestigious role, that the soul is still hungry. Like the soul, isn't satisfied in that. So one of those obstacles is being able to close the door on something that may have provided a good living, may have paid the bills, but it didn't feed the soul. It didn't activate our hearts. It didn't bring the light to our eyes, and have us feel in a flow with life, like fully engaged. So when we're not able to close the door or concerned about that, and there's a good reason to be concerned, and doubt really needs to be honored, is that we're going to go through a period of time of not knowing what will unfold as we allow that door to close. So what I want to encourage is that energy in doubt, in holding back, is locked up in the system. But as soon as we make a choice, we close the door and say no to something, all of the energy that has been invested in that becomes available to engage in something that is calling, that is bringing forth a greater vitality, is bringing forth our soul, our heart, our aliveness. So doubt shows up in the not closing the door on something. So the foot is still there, and the foot is still in the possibility of something else happening. Now, some people can hang out in doubt for so long that it's almost as if they sit down in a chair right there, and it starts to, root itself, and this new possibility, isn't ever discovered. So we don't want that to happen. And then another part of doubt is this idea too of thinking that your Dharma has to be something extraordinary, and assuming maybe even that you don't have one. And I can give a very good example of this. I know many people, because I have daughters with disabilities, that work in the caring profession, either as a home care provider or a nurse, or, and I know my sister who takes care of elderly people. And when I meet these people and watch them work and listen to their stories about taking care of people, they light up, they love it. But if you ask, what is your Dharma? They'd say, oh, I probably don't have one. I'm just an ordinary worker bee. And, so in that, what can happen is their life can start to feel repetitive at different times. Because if this is you, and actually there is a part of you that really loves this, as soon as we name that and claim it, then more juice and more aliveness becomes available for living that Dharma, for living it out fully by naming it and claiming it. And then more energy, more possibilities open up within that direction. It's like way claims way. Like we name something, and it gives way to more way. We don't need to know it in advance. But as soon as we name it and own it fully, then the way and the energy of the way becomes much more available. So we're not speaking about something that traditionally may have been referred to as spiritual. Often in the training of Dharma, there's many kinds of retreats or spiritual practices that are offered. But the way that I'm speaking about Dharma is not inactivity. It's not retreating back. And I'm not saying that there isn't value in retreat. Of course there is. I offer retreats all the time. But what I also say is that the retreat begins when you go home, because Dharma is about action. It's about giving way. It's about moving forward. So often, for many people, it's just taking the first step in the direction that you feel called and bringing that forth. Now, along the way, what might happen is, if we're honoring doubt, and that's what I'm encouraging, and whatever other feelings come with that, is we're we're allowing ourselves to see what is the inner struggle inside. Because doubt, if you go and follow doubt and honor it, and you really look at all the different parts of it, it's usually rooted in a self-denial, in a place inside of us where we haven't been honest or we haven't resolved something. So that's the way. The way begins with first, if Dharma has not, you're not feeling like you're embodying your soul purpose, your deepest calling, and on fire with it, that this honoring of any doubt about all of the different possibilities that you've been drawn to. Maybe at times you've been observing other people and feeling them very engaged, feeling their fire, seeing the light in their eyes, and observing from the sidelines, but doubting that that's possible for you. So here is the very first most important thing, is to honor that. It's not really fear. It's like, if you really slow down and look inside, is there any place that I'm betraying? Any place that hasn't been resolved in what I know in my soul gives me meaning, gives this life meaning, is valuable to me. I mean, it could be something as beautiful as gardening, as growing your own food, as maybe getting engaged in some kind of political movement even. It could be like a story that I learned about last night. Oh, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. It's from the book, Same Kind of Difficult. And this is an excellent demonstration of Dharma. And there's a couple in there, and the man writes the story. He's the author, and I watched it in the film. I haven't read the book yet. But he is very wealthy because he grew up in a poor family, and he really wanted to have a very lively, wealthy lifestyle, and he did. He had everything he wanted, but in that there was something missing, and so his relationship with his wife was not intimate anymore, and he was feeling this, and she was feeling this. So he began to have an affair, and she found out about it. So in the finding out about it, so some real honesty needed to come forward. So that was the self-betrayal that he needed to look at and resolve in his life to see what was missing. And then with her, how she was betraying herself, is she was holding herself back from this kind of volunteer work. She had a mission that she felt very strong about, and that was to serve and work with the homeless people. She was on fire about it, but it was something she couldn't share with her partner. So she began to invite him to this. And at first there was a great deal of resistance, but there was so much transformation that took place when she named and owned her Dharma and what that gave way to. And all of the forces that then came to support her and to support the repair of the relationship and the satisfaction, the deeper satisfaction that took place. And this is a true story, and it's a beautiful story that demonstrates the value of Dharma. It is not personal. It's more of the benefit for something greater, something much greater than anything we could ever imagine. And as we step toward it, we resolve any sense of doubt and we just take action. The way reveals itself. Forces come together to support it, to support you. People and situations present themselves that you would never have imagined. Capacities open up inside of you that you didn't know you had. And there's a sense of alignment with the flow of life. Dharma is not extraordinary. You have everything inside of you. It's aligning with your truest essence, the essence of your soul. So this, you could say, personal soul that then aligns with universal soul. And this is how forces that we cannot even know exist come to our aid, because we're aiming in the direction of the benefit of something greater than ourselves. And that, in that sense, we're not looking for results. And we're also able then to come out of a sense of self-judgment, because Dharma isn't about meeting approval of the world, of anything in the world. It's about following what's inside of you and allowing yourself to own it fully, a full embrace, and to take action, and then let that action inform the next action. I would recommend watching this movie, The Same Kind of Different. There's so many aspects of Dharma that are revealed in that. And one that I didn't mention yet, and I'll speak more about next week, is faith. It took a great deal of faith for the man in this relationship to kind of set aside the other aspects of his life that he had been involved with for so many years and had produced such an income. And then also to work with homeless people that, are portrayed often as being dangerous and with mental illness. But it showed in here that the stories behind these different homeless people, how they became homeless, and then the trust involved in this woman to claim this as her vocation, to work so closely and so intimately with all of these people. She didn't have a frame of reference for them as people being dangerous. And she looked at them as no different than herself, and that she had something that she could offer. And her prayer was that they would receive and that they would benefit. And they did. And I won't tell you, I don't want to give you all the spoilers, but there was a quote said by one of the main characters who began, as a very angry, violent, homeless man. And he spoke in the end, and this is kind of what I want to end with, is he said, in actuality, we are all homeless. We are all homeless. And we are all here to find our way home. To find our way home. And just as I started out in the beginning, when people, you think about and feel into what is the deepest calling or yearning of all people, and it is to come home, to fully come home, to awaken to the essence of who we are, and to live this fully, to be fully engaged with life. And this is Dharma. And I think it was, what is his name? The guy who had a stroke, Ram Dass. One of his very popular quotes is, "We're all just walking each other home." Yeah. So Dharma also creates community. And we do find that when we're really trying to do something extraordinary, that it doesn't create community. It's quite isolating, because if we're not in alignment with our soul essence, then we're not connecting and we're not open to the universal essence of all beings. They go hand in hand.